Hello, Chris from My Stamp Lady. I'm here today to show you this fun card made with the Festival of Trees stamp set and the circle card framelit. There is a little twist on this circle card though, because it does do the flip out, but I've added an extra little flap on the side. And that gives you a little bit more room to write and also a little more room to decorate. So let's get started with this card. So this is the circle card thinlit set. It comes with the card frame here and then some accessories. So I'm going to pull in the frame. This is the main one that does the part that's going to flip open. I have a piece of 5 1/2. It's just like 5 3/8. It's just slightly smaller than 5 1/2 by 8 inches. And normally when you cut this, you would set your die like this and it would cut this off, and then your base would be right here. I don't want it to cut this side off. This is going to be my little extra fold over flap, so I'm going to slip it through. And if it's, mine's pretty tight here, if you can't quite get it through, you need to take just a hair off, you know, more off on the edge so that you can get that to slip through there. So I've got it lined up inside the there, so I have it lined up inside this rectangle here. So this is ready to go through the Big Shot and be cut. You want to leave this piece on the top of your die. The rest of this will be under the die, and you will run the entire piece through the Big Shot. So here is the piece that I ran through the Big Shot, and I'm going to pull this off, and you can see when I pull it out, I have the circle cut, I have some score lines here, and then on this I can turn it upside down. Where it was over the die, it left like a score line, and that's where you'll fold it in. So I'm going to move this out of the way. Okay, so to do this, I'm going to put this circle by my left hand here, fold it in half like that, press that line there, and then fold that back. That's how you get the base part. And then this one side here that was extra is going to fold under over this way. So this is how the card base looks. So when the person gets the card, they're going to open this flip and this flip. So these decoration pieces are very simple. It's just 2 inches by 5 1/4, and all I'm doing is putting adhesive on the back side, and I'm going to just flop that side open all the way, and just lining this up here on this flap. There we go. Opening up the flap, and on the inside I'm going to put this piece. And these papers are from the All Is Calm Designer Series pattern. Now you notice that I have 2 pieces to put on the front here. However, I have this little circle piece that I need to worry about cutting out so that it can go around. There's actually a very easy way to do that. This piece here is cut to 1 7/8 inch by 5 1/4, and this piece is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. So let me bring in that platform. I have the magnetic platform. I have my same die that I used to cut the base for. I'm going to put face up. I'm putting my paper, and then all I'm going to do is center my cardstock in this flap. And I have it face down so it'll hold the cardstock in place, centering this piece in place. So what I've done is I've got it cut already. I've added my area around my 2 pieces of cardstock. I'm putting on the top acrylic pad, and I'm going to go run this through the Big Shot. Okay, so I've run that through, and now I have my pieces. This part cut out. I don't need that part though. So let's pull in that base that I've been working on. Okay, so now you can see that when I put these in place and lining it up with the circle here, it's right up to the edge, and then so got to get it lined up here. It is centered. Turn it a little bit. There we go. and now it is centered in my center panel. And the same thing will happen here. I'm going to line it right up along the edge of the circle so that it's centered in the panel here. Okay, so let's put this down. I want to line that up with this circle here and make it centered on this side. There we go. But before I put this piece in, I do want to stamp. I'm going to stamp in my Christmas tree, just to put a little bit of extra stamping on the inside. So let's put that tree down. I put that tree about there. Okay. And bring in the silver. And we're going to stamp the silver right over the circles on the tree. Silver Encore ink does take a little bit longer to dry, so when I put this in place I am going to be careful. And lining that up with that center circle. There we go. Okay, so now I have my card base. I just have to decorate the circle, the flip portion of it. I'm going to set this aside. Okay, so for the front flip portion of it, I have a tree and then this Be Joyful. The Be Joyful is actually from the Project Life Holiday Cheer set. And I already mentioned that I'm using the Festival of Trees set for the rest. So I've punched out a 2.5 inch circle from the All Is Calm series, and I'm going to place that on this top circle. Okay, this die comes with the circle framelit, and I run it through the Big Shot with a piece of white cardstock. I've already stamped my tree in garden green, and now I want to emboss my silver circles this time, so I'm pulling in the Versamark pad, inking that up, placing that over the circles again, and now I will sprinkle on my silver powder. Got a little bit of powder there where I don't want it, so make sure that you rub that off or brush that off before you heat set, otherwise that will be heat set in place. Okay. Pulling in my heat tool, and I'm going to heat set the embossing powder. Okay, I've heat set that, and now I'm going to pull in the tree punch that coordinates with this Festival of Trees set. Punch that out. Have that circle here, and I'm going to use that same, first of all I want to stamp my sentiment. So I'm going to pull in the Lost Lagoon ink and my Be Joyful. I'm going to use my tree to kind of figure out where I want that placed. I want that as far kind of to the right here as I can get that. There we go. And then I'll stamp with the silver Encore ink around that. And I'm just going to go in and put some of the, this is the image that you use to add the lights or the balls to the tree. So I'm just adding dots all around there. Okay. Now I can add this to my card front. Just centering that in the front there. I have added a couple of dimensionals to the back side here, and we'll mount that just off. And I want to make sure that I mount it inside the circle so that it does not catch when the person is opening and shutting the card. So there we go. I'm inside the circle. With the Lost Lagoon, I'm going to ink up the sentiment. Okay. The silver emboss a star at the top of the sentiment here. Punch out this sentiment with a 2.5-inch circle punch. That's what fits in that center of that card, circle card. Placing that in there. Okay, and then I'll mount this on the circle here. So you can see this is coming together. This will fold under, this will be up, open, and then open. So my last step is to take a piece of silver ribbon, tie it around this front flap. So a little trick when you're tying your ribbon, especially when you're by yourself and you don't have anybody to to hold that little knot for you, is to get your first step of that tied, make sure it's nice and tight, and then I have a little mini glue dot on the end of my scissors. And I'm going to slip that under where I want my knot to be tied, and that's going to hold that in place for me right there. So now I can do my loop and not worry about that part slipping. Isn't that awesome? Easy to do, holds it nice and tight, and if it's sticking out over the sides of your bow here, where if you don't want it to, all I've done is I kind of push it back underneath with my scissor tip. And you have a perfect little tight bow right there. I was finding that, especially on this circle card or any of the pop-out ones, I was having trouble getting that ribbon, this kind of ribbon trim here, getting that to stay in place, and it was wanting to slide. That little piece of that little mini glue dot helps tremendously, and that's how it is. That is your circle card with a little flip out extension. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, Chris at mystamplady.com, and all of these supplies are found in my online store at shopwithmystamplady.com. And be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Thanks.